So, little after 7:30, and you join me at Whelford Pools Fishery. Now, I've not fished this place in I don't know how many years. It's recently been taken over and recently been opened back to the public as a day ticket fishery, and yeah, I'm lucky enough to get down here for a midweek day session. Now, like I say, it is a little after 7:30. Fishing commences from 7:30, and I've just literally started a lap around the lake just to see who's on and sort of if I can see any signs of any fish. Now, there is one guy on the opposite half of the lake because it is kind of split into two by a channel. Now, there's one guy on what used to be a really popular peg back in the day. He's bivvied up there, so he's obviously done the night or a couple of nights. But yeah, he's not awake, or I can't see any signs of life at the moment to have a little chat and see how he's got on. But I've come round to the first sort of half that you come to when you come through the gate, and literally one has boshed out right in this corner as I'm just kind of stood here watching the water, and I mean a proper bosh. So I'm going to run back. The barrow's just up on the pathway there. I'm just going to get a rod sorted, little PVA bag, little wafter, give it an underarm flick and see if there's any fish down there that are willing to have a quick bite. But I think that's going to be sort of like the way forward for the day. I think fish off the barrow. I've travelled really light. I've got next to nothing with me, but like I say, I'm going to fish off the barrow, just flick a couple of rods out here and there, see if I can nick a fish from sort of like, you know, dotted around the lake, and just kind of move with the fish throughout the day really, if they are, like I say, getting about in different places. With only one person being on, obviously allows me to cover a lot of ground, even going like sprinkle a little bit of bait in here and there and seeing anything, you know, see if anything moves on it throughout the day. But I think for now, let's go get this rod sorted, get it out where I just saw that fish bosh out. Fingers crossed, we might just have an early one on the mat. Went down for a nice firm drop, made a little stick about 2 inches long, just a real fine micro pellet, a little bit of the big carp method mix, the sort of ADF fish meal from Bait Tech, and that's had a nice good squirting of the krill stick mix liquid. So really stinky, tiny little micro pellets, break down really quickly, obviously leak off loads of attraction, and perfect for sort of dotting around and trying to buy a bite at a time. So that rod's gone out in the area, probably going to give it an hour, see what's happening, and obviously keep my eyes peeled on this half of the lake, keep my ears peeled for the other half of the lake, which is just behind me. And yeah, just going to have to say, like I say, play it by ear and go dotting myself around the lake as and where I see fit. So. Two rods are now out. They've been really active this morning. I've heard I've seen two shows on the half behind me, and I've seen two shows on this half where I'm actually currently fishing. So the right hander has just gone out sort of about here, one nutted out, just as I was kind of making up some sticks ready for the day ahead, some little sort of small stick mix, and yeah, one's just boshed out. So I'd already done the rig and got a bait and stuff on the rig already. Like I say, I was just making up some sticks, waiting for that next sign to put another rod on it. And yeah, another one's gone like 20 yards out. So quickly just flicked that out as well. One cast, went down again, nice drop. So I think I'm going to sit on these for a good hour or so at least, unless, you know, one half of the lake starts showing more than the other, and then I'll just flitter between the two. But yeah, for now it's looking promising. A lot of action, you know, that's 4 boshes probably in about the last, I don't know, half an hour. So yeah, hopefully at some point through the day they might just be up for a little feed. But for now it's flat calm. It's so peaceful. Like I said, there is only one other guy on at the moment, so it's really quiet. And yeah, just my type of fishing, up close and personal, setting little traps and fishing to signs of you know, active fish. So let's leave it there. I'm going to get a brew on the go. I'm absolutely gagging. been up since God knows what time. So yeah, let's hope one of these two rattle off within the next hour or so. Well, 10:30, rods have been out well over a couple of hours and nothing's happened, so they are in, nowhere to be seen, back on the barrow, and we are heading to the opposite end of this section of water. So I have seen one show just a few minutes ago, just off this little island here, proper bosh. Not seen anything else show in front of me, and I've no indication that there are, you know, fish in this area, so I'm going to go on what I've seen. I'm going to get over there. It's literally a 2-minute walk. Like I say, the barrow is packed already, and just flick one rod out, I think, unless I see anything else happen. Happily fish one rod all day if it means that I'm fishing to stuff, you know, fishing to fish, fishing to signs, and just lowering in traps. So barrow's loaded, let's get ourselves around there, and yeah, see if we can nick ourselves a fish. Round where I see that show just a moment ago, and it's pretty apparent that there's quite a bit of fizzing going on just on in front of this little island here. Don't know if you're going to be able to make it out, but just sort of, where are we? Just sort of here. I've just seen like fizzing up since I've been stood in here. Fair old bit of jacuzzi and going on down here, and I've had to put my glasses on because the glare from the sun just above these trees is making it a little hard to see anything, to be quite honest. And there's a lot of leaf debris and stuff like that on the surface of the lake as well. So yeah, seeing anything without these glasses would be pretty minimal, to be honest. So I think I'm going to, well, I'm just trying to decide whether to go to the right, to my left, and just underarm one down here, or go over into the right hand side and swing a couple of rods up here. I quite like the look of this reed line, to be quite honest, to see in the morning sun, and it has done for about the last hour or so since it's come out. So makes me wonder if any are creeping up and down this reed line. But one has definitely got to go just off this little island here, that's for certain. So I think what I'm going to do is just weigh up left or right which swim's probably for the best, and swing a couple of rods out and sit on it for a couple of hours. I wasn't too sure what to do with the second rod to start with, because I knew obviously I wanted to go one up my left hand margin to where I see them fizzing fish, and I wasn't too sure then what to do with the second rod. But then seeing that one nut out literally like 20 yards to my right, obviously a no-brainer. Typically one's shown up to pretty much where I was in front of me this morning, so it looks like they're getting around this area of the lake. It's just whether they're up for getting their heads down or not. As you can see from me squinting, it is literally blue sky. Not really ideal fishing conditions. I thought, looking at the weather, that it was going to be overcast and grey today, but yeah, it's the complete opposite, to be quite honest. Now, like I mentioned earlier, this bank has seen a lot of the morning sun as it slowly developed throughout, like I say, throughout the morning. So the fish may be making the most of that up and down this bank. So peg 9. Let's give it a couple of hours until yeah, until I see anything else that's worthwhile moving on to. But yeah, the fish are definitely active, but it's whether they're up for a feed or not in these sunny conditions. I've just repositioned one of the rods due to seeing a fish show 3 times in exactly the same area, and yeah, it was too much of an opportunity to miss really. So I've dragged both rods together, put one over to the far side on the opposite bank. Now whilst that rod's back in situ, I just thought I'd talk you through what I'm using today setup wise, as in the terminal tackle, and how I've gone about sort of setting it up for this session. Well, if you watched any of my other videos, it's pretty obvious that I'm a massive fan of the lead clip setup and sort of using rig tubing for my fishing. It's safe, you can use it on pretty much every venue you go to, and it's the best safe way and effective way of fishing for carp. So what I've got there is probably about a foot or so of tubing. It then comes down to a lead clip sleeve which just presses over the lead clip. Obviously you have your main line running through the middle of the tubing and the sleeve there, and basically the lead goes onto the actual clip itself. For this session I'm just using 2-ounce flat pairs, just because I know that obviously there's a lot of debris and stuff coming down off the trees, and this will just sit flush on the lake bed, hopefully without diving into the bottom too much. So that just goes onto the clip itself. Just wet it down with a bit of saliva, and then I'm just kind of nicking it on about a third of the way really. As far as I'm aware, there's no snags and stuff like that out in the main bulk area of the lake, but I like to just nick it on really with enough to just keep it on in case it's in case it's best to discharge it as and when the situation arises. So coming down to the lead clip, as you may see, there's a quick link swivel there. You just tie your main line onto the loop end. That presses snug inside the lead clip, and then obviously it leaves you with the quick link end, that end, to loop your actual rig over. That allows a quick changing of the rigs and stuff like that. So if I'm lucky enough to get a bite today, I can safely unhook that fish, get a fresh rig on it, get it back out to where I'm seeing those fish show. So that's the kind of terminal tackle end, how I've got both my rods set up. This is in the weedy green, so this is dark in colour, hopefully match sort of like the siltiness of the lake bed. And yeah, a nice light lead, because I'm not having to cast, I don't know, 20-30 yards top, so it's a nice balanced setup. So what I'll do now is just show you through what I'm using for the rig. Just want to talk you through the rig that I've opted to use for this session now. It's a rig that I've got the utmost confidence in. Used it for a good couple of years now, easy, and yeah, one that I'll, like I say, got a complete trust and confidence in that it hooks and catches me fish. So that rig is the Slip D rig. Now it's about 6-7 inches in length, down to a curved shank pattern hook. And then throughout the day I've been chopping and changing, but using the 10mm juice wafters. I've also got these in the pellet colour, so a dark and a light pellet, and I've also obviously got them as colour there, colour ones, so white, yellow, pink, orange. I've been chopping and changing throughout the day. But yeah, the Slip D rig, I'm not going to talk you through how to tie it. There's so many videos already out there that'll probably be a lot better than anything that I could put together. But yeah, the boom section is made of a semi-stiff material, so that's the Jackal in 20 in dark. It's got enough stiffness about it just to kick the rig away from the lead, and obviously it's just supple enough just to kind of, you know, lay down on any sort of bottom debris, and with it being dark, that'll just lay flush against the lake bed and blend in lovely. There, just at the break between the coating and the sort of soft part to give it a bit of movement, that's some heavy metal putty. Clings really well, molds really well and got no issues with that coming off whatsoever. Now finishing off, what I'm doing is just threading through a stick that's made of a PVA stick that's made of 2mm and well, anything between 2 to 4mm pellets, a little bit of big carp method mix in fish meal, and then giving that a good squirt of krill stick mix liquid. So it's, you know, it's really smelly, tiny little pellets, so there's nothing that's taking ages to try and break down. It's quick, you know, trying to buy a quick bite with attraction and bits and pieces in the actual stick that's going to just ooze attraction and hopefully draw fish down onto the one and only, you know, half decent sized piece of bait down there. So that's what I've been doing throughout the day. It's not worked for me yet, but I've got another good 4.5 hours yet before I've got to go, so there's always a chance. That's what I'm going to be using for the rest of the day. Just going to be changing, like I say, the hook bait colour to try and see if they want one colour in particular, and to just try and, like I say, nick myself that one bite to work from. We're off on our travels again. It's been a good couple of hours really since I last seen the last show in front of me, and I'm currently on the top half of the lake. I've come for a little walk to see what's going on. Now it seems like the guy in 13, he's disappeared, but one other guy who's turned up, what, 1, 2, 3 swims down. So he did say, I was just speaking with the bailiff and fishery owner, that he was seeing and hearing them up to his left hand side in this little bay corner, and yeah, he just didn't have a take all night. But I've come for a look anyway, see what's going on, because it is literally dead quiet down there now. So well, as the fishery owner, have been just up and down doing a couple of jobs around the lake, he mentioned that he did spook one just off the reeds by the no fishing sign. Now there is a peg, which was the peg that I was going to go in originally before I dropped into the other one, and that would allow me access to that area of the reed line. So I've just obviously, like I say, done a couple of laps, not seen anything, but on the second lap I have just seen a few plumes of bubbles and what looks like a sort of clouding in the water. Now usually telltale signs are, you know, fish just having a little suck and blow and some of the scum off the bottom just being disturbed. Now I've not seen a great deal else, to be quite honest with you. The last shows that I have seen obviously have been down in this half of the lake, and I did see, like I say, a couple of shows, 3 shows actually in fact, in front of one of the other swims which I've been sat on for the last couple of hours, and nothing materialised. So what I think I'm going to do is just grab my gear, which is just a little bit further up here, and wheel it round to this first swim, and I think I'm just going to underarm one into sort of like a little bay corner, and then maybe just try and underarm one, I know, half a rod length off these reeds, just to allow for, you know, any sort of dead reed beds, dead reeds and stuff like that at the bottom. So at least I know I'm fishing confidently, and I know I'm fishing like presented, my bait's presented, my rig's presented well. So all I can go on at the moment, to be quite honest with you. Like I say, I have been round, I've walked around twice, and I've not seen a great deal at all. So that's going to be the plan of attack. The barrow is already loaded, so it's just a case of pushing it around there now. So I'll catch up with you once I'm back in the other swim. Well, it's just coming up to about 5 o'clock now, and yeah, unfortunately nothing has materialised of this third move of the day. As you can see, slowly the sun is starting to set, and it is a beautiful evening. It's not really been the conditions for carp fishing today, to be quite honest with you. clear skies, clear blue skies, sun shining. It's been pretty warm in the face of that sun as well when I was over in my second swim of the day. But yeah, unfortunately nothing's materialised of the third move. What can I say really? I don't really know. Obviously I've seen about 12 to 15 shows I reckon through the day in this section of water, probably a good 10 of them at least. But yeah, I guess it's just the conditions, time of the year, don't really know. Just trying to think of an excuse for yet another blank and another empty video of fish. But put it this way, it wasn't through lack of trying. I've been chasing them around this section of water pretty much all day, casting to showing fish and trying to you know, just get myself a bite, a quick bite, just trying to stick a rig and a, you know, a single stick on top of their heads and just try and nick myself something. But yeah, nothing's materialised, and I've not been that lucky to nick one of these scaly fish that reside in this lake. But I will be coming back, that's for certain. I reckon it'll be a quality little winter water, and I'll be coming down probably armed with some maggots and bits and pieces, and see if I can definitely nick one that way. But yeah, going to leave it there for now. Unfortunately, like I say, sorry about the lack of fish footage. As I said, it looks like it's going to be a beautiful, stunning evening, probably a cold one as well once that sun drops. But yeah, time to start sorting out. Wow, the barrow's just tucked around the other side of the tree. But yeah, time to sort out that lot, get that into the motor, and get myself off around my dad's and get some food inside me. But yeah, thanks for watching anyway. I hope it gives you a little insight to the fishery itself. What I'll do upon leaving, I'll stick the camera on the rules and stuff, so you can see what you need to, what rules you need to adhere to when you're coming down to Whelford's. And in the description below, I'll put their Facebook page and their website as well, so you can have a little look for yourself. But yeah, get yourself down here. Quality little fishery, and it's in the right hands. And going from when I used to fish it back in the day, it's come on a million miles, and it's definitely going to be one of those waters that I'll definitely be visiting in the future and want to keep an eye on.